Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. So today I thought we would do a festive lip. So people generally fall into two camps when it comes to Christmas makeup. So they either love wearing a red lipstick or would just never dream to go there. And I just want to prove that it can suit everyone. So the most important thing is picking the right shade. So pillar box red, a bright red will suit absolutely everyone. There are no exceptions. Suit every skin tone. So I suggest you start with that and then experiment with other different colours. Sort of berries and darker tones don't really suit me, so I stick with the pillar box and I love it. So I just wanted to sort of outline excuse the pun, but outline the importance of drawing your lips in, because they create so much symmetry, and our lips are often an area which get neglected. I, for one, am totally guilty of that because, you know, there are more important things basically. So I tend to neglect my lips, always make sure either my eye makeup's on or you know, my base is, and then hop out the house and just use a lip gloss if that. But actually there are moments where a lip is just brilliant and it can actually save you doing the rest of your makeup because you look quite polished if your lips are done. There are loads of benefits to actually drawing your lips in, because I think everyone in the day and age where fillers are really popular and everyone wants bigger lips, they've become a bit of a fashion statement. But we tend to want bigger lips, but we're actually not seeing what's already there on ourselves. So drawing your lips in is a great way of appreciating the assets that you already have. So my lips are perfect for this example because they're a bit what I would describe as moth-eaten. So when it comes to tattooing lips, I sort of look to see how much pigment has been lost, because what happens with age, our lips recede. It's not so much the lips themselves, although that can happen, but it's actually the pigment on our lips. So you'll notice in children they've got these beautiful sort of vivid sort of cherubim lips, which their outlines are really crisp and, you know, they're quite voluminous. But unfortunately, no, that is another thing which slips as we go through the aging process. So sorry for the close-up view here, but if you see mine, so you can see this sort of white halo that kind of surrounds your lips, and that is actually lip tissue. That is your lip, but it just means the colour has been lost from that area. Quite often people who suffer from cold sores get scarring and lose the colour from their lips as well. So particularly if you have cold sores, actually drawing your lips in can be a really good way of disguising some of those battle scars. So I've chosen, as I say, a good pillar box red. Always start with a pencil. There have been various theories over the year whether we should all just draw our lips on initially with a nude colour and then put one over the top, but I tend to be a bit old-fashioned and I tend to like it to match the lipstick that I'm wearing. So I've got a red one. For these, I think when it comes to sort of cheap wardrobe updates, particularly like seasonal, I don't think you can go wrong with cheap ones. So the ones that I've actually bought are the newer ones from Superdrug. So they're cheap as chips, but they're not tested on animals. So that is always like my bottom line. So when you begin your lip, I want you to kind of assess each side of your lip to see which is your favourite. So for me, it's hard to do this when speaking, so I'll describe it first and then I'll show you. So this side for me is quite sort of more rounded, and I like that. And this side of the Cupid's bow is a bit more pointed, so I tend to try and soften it off because this is my preferred one. We also, because everything about us is essentially asymmetrical, we'll have one which is higher as well. So I tend to go to that one because obviously it looks like you've missed some of your lipstick if your lip extends beyond where you've actually put your lipstick. So work to the higher one. Okay, so I'll show you. So with this one, it's marginally higher, but as I said, it has that nicer curve. So what I do is I start by drawing the Cupid's bow. So I draw it in initially over the better side, or my better side. and then I follow it by mimicking the rest the other side. Okay, so a little tip, and I find this really matters. So we all have a tendency, if we're drawing down, to flatten, whereas particularly with me, I like that curve on this side of my lip. So I will start with the side that I like, but I will always be drawing upwards. So if you do it in sort of smooth feather motions. Okay, and then you do it the same the other side. Totally gone wrong there. And do you know why? It's because I accidentally did a downward stroke, and it's always the ruiner. So let me just take that off. It's also really hard. I had thought I would get a lot of detail looking into my camera, but actually no, I do need a mirror. I'm scanning around the room, see if I can find one. But the way it smooths out the imperfections is so worthwhile. And if you can see on the bottom lip, all this which can be gained. So a lot of people are quite fearful, particularly with vivid lipsticks, of thinking that they're going to make their lips look smaller. And it's just not the case. As long as the lip borders have been drawn in to where the true lip margins are, then that's really not going to be the case. And we've all got bigger lips than we think we have. So it's a win-win. So here, I'm literally going to be gaining like a pencil width, and that's going to make all the difference. So when it comes to the bottom lip, here, the bit in the centre is pretty much a flat line. So it's about 2 centimetres worth of just flat. You see here as well that sort of white halo, so we're going to be popping that back in. It also helps if your pencil's a little sharper than mine. So what I tend to do is also use a lip brush. So I'm just going to just soften the edges really with that. So when you're drawing on, never go too far down towards the edge of the lip. Reason for why is you end up looking a bit ventriloquist dummy. So it's lined, but it's softened, so you don't have a harsh outline there. Okay, so it's already looking better. And then with the lipstick. So don't go too far into the lip, because obviously that's going to rub off anyway, so there's no point. So we just do it on the sort of outer third, and then we blend it. So with the lipstick, it doesn't matter if you do go down, but just make sure you go back up as well, because it just gives it that nice curvature we spoke about. and make sure you really define the Cupid's bow. And there we go, we have much brighter, bigger looking lips. So now I'll just use and I stopped the brush again. And then I would do the old-fashioned trick of biting on a tissue. And there we go, a festive lip. So I hope that helps you. And I look forward to seeing lots of festive lips around Leamington. See you soon, bye.